welcome to the next video talking about Outsiders Chaplaincy. I'm Bryce Tengvald. Um, what are my hopes, or what are some of my ideas and ambitions for what the Outsiders Chaplaincy could look like? Essentially, what I'm thinking about is that we could see a whole economy of people who feel empowered and enabled to be chaplains in the outdoor active adventure activities industry or community, um, whether that's in a professional capacity, working with mountain guides or outdoor guides, um, or whether that's running their own outdoor activities groups, or whether that's simply being available to whoever, um, being in regularly used areas to just be present to people. You could be praying for people or just having conversations with people, kind of like a ranger, a ranger chaplain type thing. Um, this is the kind of thing I'm thinking of. So one of the cool ideas, one of the cool visions I had in my head is walking through a place like Keswick or um, Boulder, Colorado, or Golden, where you've got the American Mountain Guides Museum or Mountaineering Museum, I think it is. Bellingham, where I grew up, got the American Alpine Institute. Places like working with the Sierra Club in California or the Mountaineers. Um, Places like Llanberis in Wales, uh, Chamonix, France, um, South America. You could be in Cusco, you could be in Mexico, or down in Kenya, Tanzania with Kilimanjaro. You could be in these places and physically just be present to those people in those situations, those activities, um, and you could be exploring. You could be empowered, enabled, fostered to explore what God is doing. You're opening up a window of reflection for others to connect with the Almighty, with the handiwork of the Creator in those spaces. Um, I've already created a prescriptive idea, but I'm concerned that I don't create a prescriptive idea too much. I don't want this to be too static. Um, I want to be ecstatic, out of stasis. So I don't want this to be something that becomes a cemented practice that only a few people really get because it's just a bit too, well, there's too much tradition, there's too much rights and wrongs and ins and outs. And I think we've got enough of those. So a lot of people are going to be coming with that already built into their understanding of what they should and shouldn't do, what it looks like to be a person of faith in particular situations, and what it is and what it isn't. I don't need to make another religion. So something I'm keen to try and help facilitate is people's ability to reflect in whatever ability, in whatever place, whatever context they're in, and coming from whatever backgrounds they come from. I I've recognized the value of some of practices from across the spectrum, whether that's um, atheists, humanists, Buddhists, Muslims, um, Christian or Catholic Jesuits, Benedictine, Franciscan practices, and right the way into modern reflective practices that are used in business and mental health. These are all things that I think are actually valuable. It's not to say that I agree with every perspective that comes from any one of those pockets of thinking, but it's to say that there is some value in each one. And I think this is similar in my understanding of God's interaction with others, with the world, with all of creation, with humanity, beyond I mean, I say God, that sounds very flippant. I hate to say it, but the Almighty is interactive with everyone, everything that we can ever conjure, we can ever even think of. If you know of a being, of an element of creation that God has not got his fingerprint on and has not got his eye on, let me know, because yeah, I don't think it exists. Not to say that God has got everything in control and everything is happening because God is telling it to happen the way it's happening, because I don't think that we would have the world that we live in if that was the case. But where is God involved in this situation, in that situation, in the way that things are working together? I mean, read through the Bible and we've got situations that seemed dire and impossible and horrible and destructive and painful. And through that, God was working. How can we reflect on those spaces in our modern lives and in our modern context? It's not to say that everything's comfortable, not to say that everything is perfectly tied up, and it's not to say that every opinion is correct. But can we sit in a place of reflection? Can we sit in that, what is happening? What's going on? Why is this going on? What should be going on? What's God doing in this space? And where do I sit with it all? These are all some of the questions I usually try and ask myself, and sometimes I'm good at it and sometimes I'm really rubbish. But we need to foster this way of thinking. We need to foster a broader perspective than just listening to whoever and whatever comes on YouTube, comes on Instagram or Twitter, or comes out of even people that we have great respect for, comes out of their mouths and out of their ideas. We don't need to take those things at face value. We can take some time. We can spend some time just sitting through some of the things that we know are going on, and reflect, how is God moving in this situation? Where is God in all of this? And that age-old question, I can't remember who it was that first said it. There's lots of people. How should we then live? What's going on? Why is this going on? What should be going on? Where is God in all of this? And what am I going to do? Or